here?
He was here.
Somebody on the list?
Yeah, a second ago.
You took the I don't want to get sprayed with ink position.
Yes. Just in case.
You know, it's funny. My Bill story is that I saw him at a show, right? And I love this cover. It's a Moon Knight book, it's an all black cover with just the eyes and the teeth of the wolf moving onto the crescent dart. And I said to him, I just love that cover. I said, how long ago did you sell it? And he said, well, it's my favorite Moon Knight piece. I never sold it. It's still hanging in my living room. And he goes, and I said, well, how much would it take for you to sell it? And he says, well, this was about 10 years ago. He says, well, I'm really not that interested in selling it, but, there is a dollar figure. Everything does have a price.
Between me and you.
Everything has a price.
There is my laurels have a price.
And so I bought the cover from him, and I was living in Connecticut at the time, and so was Bill. Mm-hmm. And so he said, so I said, look, I'll just come pick it up. I'll meet you somewhere and come pick it up. So I met him at his apartment in Stanford. He was the and he meets me at the door, right? And he says, I can't. He's covered with paint, right? He says, I can't let you come in. It's just too messy. So I traded him the money for the art at the door, and left. And he was like ink tolerant.
Wow.
His hands were more black than they were white.
Wow.
It was hilarious. And then, so he told me, I said, well, how about, I said, at the back, so that's the cover to 29. I said, on the back of 28, there's a pencil version of a wolf, and says, this is going to be the cover to 29. He goes, that doesn't exist. I blacked that over because I hated it. And then, 5 years later, up on eBay, up pops the pencil.
What?
Yeah, it did indeed really exist. And so I bought that too. I think you've seen it. I think you've seen the cover. It's in the comic book. Oh, this is Ryan Sook. It's a Rocketeer.
Sweet. Did you do that at the show?
Yeah.
Nice, man.
I just camped out at his table so I could catch him when he first got here. Because I heard that he's if you're further down than 3 on his list, you're not getting anything. And he's only going to be here for 1 day. Yeah. So I just camped out there and waited for him to get here. Actually, he showed up around 9, which I caught him before he went to coffee. So.
In the coffee.
Yeah.
Somebody's, I think.
They'll be back.
They'll remember. They'll remember eventually that they left it. It's easy to. That's the thing. It's easy to do.
Yeah, especially if you hang out and talk for a while.
Yep. You forget. It gets put down.
Well, you draw them an amazing piece of original art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, screw.
How often can you draw? How often can you draw the Foolkiller?
Yeah.
So that's a character.
Yeah, that's a real character. It's called the Foolkiller. He made. He's been in several several appearances in the Defenders, and he actually, I think his first appearance was in Omega the Unknown.
Wow. It's like to be the obscure character
Yes.
in the obscure
Obscure
book.
book, exactly. Yes, Omega the Unknown. But he actually appeared in Spider-Man. So he's been in 3 different costumes. This is, I think, his second costume.
I wonder what the little thing on his belt's supposed to be. Is it
Yeah, it's like a little
symbol or
pirate
like
thing.
it's like a little snail or something.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah, there's like a
there's a lot of strange stuff on that costume.
Yeah, like his hat.
Yeah. Oh, it's all weird.
looks like a
But it's-
serious Buccaneer flourish going on.
But
there.
it's not the weirdest thing you've ever drawn for me.
No. I think that would still be Dr. Bong.
Dr. Bong, yeah, that was actually more. You think he was weirder than the kidney lady?
Oh,
Dr. Bong, is that from Blunt Man and Chronic?
That's from Dr. Bong. Dr. Bong is from Howard the Duck. It's a Howard the Duck character. There are a lot of crazy Howard the Duck characters. The kidney lady is one. Dr. Bong. Yeah, oh, he's done, I think, a couple Dr. Bongs for me.
got the what?
Those are probably weirder than Bentley, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bentley, compared to those, like Bentley, for anyone else, that would have been the weirdest thing I've ever done. But actually, I don't know if I told you, but at that show,
I know. Like,
I could have left that show and just given up comics and become like a pet illustrator. I could have, because I was just like doing these comic stuff, and I was like feeling pretty good. And people like walking by, are like, oh yeah, Batman. You know, just kind of moving on. But then when I did the dog, everyone stopped. It was like suddenly all the girls in the convention, you know, their boyfriends just kind of went, oh, he's doing a dog, so let's just keep on going.
yeah, it's my dog.
But all the girlfriends were like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Oh yeah, he's a rescue dog.
He's a rescue.
Yeah.
What kind of situation do they know what kind of situation he was in?
Yes. So Bentley was he was owned by a woman who met a man. The guy didn't like the dog. She got rid of the dog and kept the man.
Wow.
I think she made a big mistake.
Yeah. Because
Well,
I'm
the
sure
dog
if
is
you, I'm
the
sure if you
sweetest
talk to her
dog.
now, the man's probably gone.
He's the sweetest dog. And then his little partner in crime, I have another Westie, second Westie, and she had a bladder control problem. But it turned out that it was related to a large bladder stone. And so she got dumped out on the road on a highway in Louisiana. And she got rescued, and then they took her in, they removed the stone, and she's fine. Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, I'll see if I can find, I'll show you pictures of it. I don't have that super good picture of Bentley. That one's on my iPad. Bentley is, he's easy to take a picture of because he's a really laid back, calm dog. Willow is so hyper. She's like, I really don't have a lot of good pictures of her. She is just hard to catch. Like, oh, so no, I do have the picture of that. So, let's see if I have that's the picture that he drew it from. That's the dog. And that was the final painting.
Yeah, I saw that. I love the little spider.
The Spider-Man thing.
What's funny is like after, you know, because when you were there, you were like, well, you know, Bentley's muzzle is a little more like, I was like, oh, okay, you know, let me do that.
Yeah.
And just kind of like made the changes and everything. And then when I actually saw Bentley, I was like, oh yeah, he's right. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, because you met both Bentley and Willow. Yeah, they're always getting into stuff. They're their two little partners in crime. It's hilarious how they talk to you. You know, they have their own language. And
Hey! So, hey, dude, what's up, man? How you been?
Years ago, you sketched my niece.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at her now.
No.
Yeah,
No. But you were like a baby.
it's like 4 or 5. I don't know if you've heard the story. You wouldn't tell writing her name. So you kept sketching and asking.
Trying to break you down.
Not that anybody would hear a show. I really, most people are pretty good.
Yeah. Matt.
I got a short. Oh, wait,
Bill.
here we go.
Bill.
I'm looking for like straight, like a razor blade. See, it's nice to actually have a firm grasp of like the English language, you know.
that's his partner in crime.
This is good. Aw, she's sweet. That's so sad. Why they want to get rid of it?
Yep. So that's the next one.
Ah, not as cool as Bentley. I mean, don't worry, good dog and everything, but not as cool as Bentley.
He's unflappable. Only found one thing he's terrified of:
What's that?
wooden horses.
Whoa, that's really
Isn't
random.
that weird? We took him. We went to buy a newspaper down by a horse race track, and outside at the stand there was a wooden horse, and he would not go near that.
Oh, really?
He growled and barked at it, and
That was unacceptable.
Oh, God. Because I've heard of, there's dogs that can be scared of really random things. Like, I know a dog that was scared of plastic bags. Just freak out every time.
well, thunder and lightning is a real common.
Yeah. I thought the plastic bag was weird.
That's really weird. That is very odd.
But just a wooden horse.
A wooden horse. Yeah, well, he's never been around a real horse. He might be scared of a real horse too.
Steen's sister had a dog that was just like the nicest dog in the world, except for teenage black guys. The dog was just like, that's where I draw the line.
Must have gotten kicked by one.
Yeah, must have been something, but it was just like,
some trauma.
it's like, okay, it doesn't matter, this right here is where I draw the line. It's like, if you're a kid, you can pull on my ears, you can kick me around, anything, and I'm totally cool with that.
Oh yeah.
You're a teenage black guy.
We've got some kids around our neighborhood. They know what time we come by with Bentley and Willow, and they'll sit in their front yard to wait for him to come by.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to play with him.
And they're good with the kids?
Yeah, they're very good. Westies don't have a good reputation with kids, but they're fine with it. They don't mind at all. Bentley will sit there and you can just pet him forever. He'll just stand there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we were eating, he was just under the table, just kind of like, all right, if you could spare a foot, I'll be cool with that.
And I wouldn't mind if you drop a little sausage or beef on the floor.
Yeah, a little something for my troubles. I mean, after all, I'm letting you pet me.
So what other shows are left for the year?
Some of the usual suspects. I mean, there's going to be Heroes and Baltimore. But I might do San Diego this year.
Yeah, you were saying you might do that. I'll definitely be in San Diego.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure in San Diego. I'll be there with Rob. And,
Once again, folks, I have a smartphone up here.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Heroes or Baltimore.
Oh, really?
Have to see.
Yeah, actually, the weirdest thing is Robert's not going to be able to do Heroes this year.
Wow, he's always exceptional.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, though. I think you'll enjoy it. Strong development for Tony's character.
Is he some other commitment or?
Yeah, the hospital's doing like some sort of switch over to like a different system,
Oh, okay.
and I think they go live like right
What's
around that
Robert
time.
do?
He's in housekeeping, you know.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's very talented.
Yeah, I've been in that hospital before. We had to go there when I was a medical student.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Simply.
This is when you lived in the Baltimore area, right?
Yeah, we lived in a whole bunch of different places in like Northern Virginia. Arlington, McLean, Alexandria. It was an easy ride then up to Baltimore. I'm not so sure about anymore with traffic
yeah.
in that
Oh.
area. In those days, it wasn't bad. It was crowded, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, that's an odd city.
I like it actually. I really.
Yeah, I mean, in the times that
I don't know which one.
the times that I've been coming there.
Oh wait, that's my chumble.
No, it's good. The times that I've been going there, that I've actually really quite enjoyed it,
Oh, I think it's a great city.
and I haven't seen the bad stuff that people tell me about.
Now, this is my first trip out to this show. We went to the wine country first, so Shelley was coming. Then when one of the days we were in San Francisco, we went to a variety of different sites that Vertigo was filmed at, the Hitchcock movie.
Oh man,
It was
really?
filmed in San Francisco.
I didn't know
yeah.
that.
Yeah, if you've never been there, like there's an art gallery called the Legion of Heroes, which is where she's in it, sitting in it, looking at the picture of Carlotta Valdez, that fake woman, and then another one which is at the Palace of Fine Arts, which is just a gorgeous building, fountains and building. It's really spectacular. But we drove all around to these different spots, and saw most of the city actually. Where Scotty's apartment was over on Lombard Street.
I didn't know that was a.
Yeah,
I mean, the weird thing about it is I always think, oh, well, Rushmore, and that's kind of like.
Oh yeah,
the
that
thing.
was North by Northwest.
Now, was the apartment complex here?
Scotty's apartment?
Yeah.
It was on Lombard Street in San
Really?
Francisco. Yeah, most of the movie was shot on location. Well, the stuff that wasn't shot on the sound set was shot on location in San Francisco. It's one of my favorite movies, so it's fun to go around and see.